Are you a speaker, a coach, an author, a consultant who, when the pandemic hit, you were wondering, what am I going to do now? Because perhaps you were only used to having your presentations on live in-person stages. So if that is you, then welcome. I have an amazing, awesome author, speaker, and business expert who's going to be sharing with you a few tips, just a few, because by you being here today, we want to invite you to join us on Thursday, October 29th, to the Bizniversity Speakers Growth Summit, where my expert guest is going to be sharing with you tips that you want to know if you want to succeed in today's economy. So please help me welcome my guest, expert business owner, speaker, and really CEO, celebrity CEO, Ramon Ray. Ramon, thank you for being here.
Evie, thanks for having me. It's good to be here. And you and I have had several conversations, and you are a rocket ship, a rock star, a breath of fresh air. And I'm so excited that you invited me to the Bizniversity Speakers Growth Summit. So thank you for having me. And I'm excited to just share a bit, not too much, as we said, a bit of information so people can know why they should come and sign up and register. Thank you, Evie.
Absolutely. And I am delighted because you are an experienced expert. So for those of you who may not know, let's dive a little bit into who is Ramon and why you really want to come and listen to him, because you will learn from him. So Ramon, why don't you tell us a little bit about your business background as an entrepreneur and then also as a speaker?
Sure, absolutely. I have an awesome family. We live in the New York area. And as far as the business, over the past few years, I've started 4 small companies and sold 2 of them. I'm blessed to have done an exit, as they say in startup world, but small companies, but sold them, and that's happy to do that. Authored 4 books. The latest one is called Celebrity CEO, and that's really my methodology. We'll touch on that a bit, my methodology and my version. I think all of us say similar things, but it's my version of saying build fans. So I've authored 4 books, and I love having fun. But overall, I'm a speaker, that's for sure. So talk about the speaking a bit, Evie. It's just I've been speaking for about 20 years or more. My adult son is about 25 years old, Evie, and I can remember when he was playing with cards under a chair, speaking for free. But meaning still speaking in front of audience. So just to give a sense of context, I've been speaking for a long time professionally around the world. And lastly, I'll just lead so people have a context of who I am. My clients are SAP, Microsoft, Salesforce, Verizon, AT&T. So many of these amazing brands call me all the time. So that's a little bit about me.
I love that. And, one of the things that attracted me to you, because, at Bizniversity, we have our saying is attract, capture, retain. That's part of our strategic growth system. And I was attracted to you because of your dynamic personality and your great energy. It's one of the reasons why I said I have to ask Ramon to come and just share that positive, amazing, powerful energy. And so I'm so grateful that you're here. And let's talk a little bit about, first of all, what's going on right now with the people that are really needing this message today, which is a lot of speakers who perhaps have been speaking for a long time, as I mentioned when I did the intro, and I don't like using the word pivot because it's so overused. I like saying reposition. You haven't repositioned their business for online success. So in your experience with what being with all the possible attendees that we're going to have, what do you think is happening? What do you think is happening in the mindset? What are they struggling with? And what do they need help with right now?
Great question, Evie. And I think that I was talking just today as we're taping this, well, it's actually live being broadcast. So hello, everyone, to a young man. And I think one of the big challenges that we speakers and others have, Evie, is the aspect of creativity. And I know it may sound like Ramon, really, but I think when you're hit in the face, when there's a brick wall in front of you, and listen to this word carefully, everyone, when the escalator, I didn't say elevator, when the escalator stops, you're still wondering, how do we go up the stairs? Think about that for those like me who are a bit slow. It takes me a while when the escalator stops. So that's the time we're in, Evie. The escalator has stopped. How are we going to keep coming up? you have to still keep moving. So I think one of the biggest challenges EVIC is the lack of creativity that us speakers have to navigate, to pivot, to shift, etc. I think that's one. I think two, and I can dive deeper into this at the summit that's coming up, which I hope people register for and come and hear more of this from Evie and other amazing speakers as well, is that I think the aspect of how do I stand out and different. Evie and I have similar backgrounds. She could probably talk about 90% of the things I could talk about in her sleep. I could probably talk about 60% of the things she could talk about in my sleep, but it's how we do it. Evie has her way of delivering it, how she looks, her persona. I have my way, my energy. She has her energy. So the point being to speakers, and we'll touch on this more, though, is the aspect that what makes you stand out? How can you be different? And Evie, I think too many speakers, they're just darn boring because they're afraid. So I'll pause there, see if you want to go further or anything. But those are two things. Creativity, how do I stand out? It's a problem.
I love that. I love that you said that because it's interesting, Raymond. One of the sayings that I have, part of which people are familiar with, is if you can't be first, be different. That you've heard. And I say, if you can be different, be memorable. So the question I always say to people, I ask them, ask yourself today, how can I be different and memorable today? Yeah. And really, I love that you say creativity because it is true. And I know that you're also an author. Now, we are also inviting authors because I have personally spoken at many different associations for authors. And it's amazing because I write, but I'm not a published author per se, because I've written many ebooks. And not yet. And it's funny because I've been invited to speak, and I have seen amazing books written that are not selling. And so I love that we're inviting authors to think different, to be memorable, and to say, hey, what am I going to do with that book? Or how could I reposition that book into a course, into a membership? That's what we're going to be talking about. What do you say about that? Because you are an author. You've had 5 books, or 4, did you say?
4.
4. So what do you have to say for your author colleagues out there, what they need to perhaps be thinking about with this idea of repositioning themselves and repositioning their business for online success?
Yes, I think 2 things on that, Even. You're so true in that. I know you're the expert of that, memberships and launches and all these things, which I learned from you about. But I think, Evie, that publishing a book is that's a dime a dozen, meaning I'm not belittling my own book, but that's a dime a dozen. We all can do that, or will do that. It's one thing. But I think it's about thinking, Evie, as you hinted, how to take it up to the next notch. Are you selling it? Do you have a community that needs to buy it more? Or even forget buying it, as Seth Godin has done many years ago and taught us with maybe one of his first books, give away the first chapter for free. So these are all ninja things going back to creativity. Some people listening to us, Evie, they know these things, some of it. But some people listening to us are like, what? I should give away the first chapter? And Evie and her team and everybody can tell you about these things later on and probably throughout the talks we'll be having. But you're right, Evie, because publishing a book is just part of the equation. But then how are you serving it? Like this cup of coffee I'm drinking. I can have the cup all day long, but if I don't hit the machine and get the coffee in the cup, it's only half the battle. So I think you're so true. And I must say, Evie, as you know, selling is a hard part. Getting that book, which is, there's mine there behind me, getting that book done is one thing. But if it doesn't sell, it's nice to show your grandma, your grandpa, your children. But beyond that, me and Evie didn't read it.
Yes, and I'm so delighted. So can you give people, you mentioned giving a little taste of what they're to expect by joining you and I along with these amazing speakers on Thursday, October 29th at the Bizniversity Speakers Growth Summit. What can they expect from the dynamic Raymond Ray?
Yeah, I think a few things, Evie. I think what I'm going to do is walk people through, and many people will think they know social media. And many people do. It's not rocket science. It's been around for 50 billion years now. But I will open up my playbook of success. And not that I'm special, just if I can help someone, if I can teach somebody else who just got out of college last week, teach someone else who just got fired from their job, teach someone else who's like Ramon. I've been following Evie. She's been teaching us. I've been doing this for 2 years, and you're still a bit stuck. So I'll be opening up my playbook, Evie, the aspect of how do you become the celebrity CEO? How do you do this principle of starting with a smile before you start with a sale. How do you do this principle of building your fan base, building your community? That's kind of what I'll be doing, is packaging it. And I'll say out front, many of the principles but what I hope to do, Evie, is that I will package it in a way that may be a bit different and how I've done it. Because for me, because you and I have talked offline about some things, I don't do too well in launch and all that, which I want to do. But what I do well is building the community, as it were, and then having that brand, a few people buying from me. So that's what I do, and that's a little bit of what I'll be sharing.
I love that. And, that resonates so well with me, because I know that in speaking with the other speakers like you who are going to be joining us on Thursday, October 29th, that is this idea that I teach about, which, everything is going to come so nicely together by the end of the day of our Speakers Growth Summit, because what you said right now brought to mind something that I'm going to be talking about, which is this idea of really the importance of understanding what kind of business model you have, and what kind of marketing automation you have, and really what kind of sales and marketing funnel do you have, and how well do you understand the buyer's journey. So to understand that what you just said, building a community is a part of the marketing mix, and to understand where the buyer is and where, like you said, you start with a smile, where and when is the right time for you to say, buy now.
That's right. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. I love it. So Evie, you're going to be sharing too. You're going to be dropping your knowledge too on October 29th at the Bizniversity Speakers Growth Summit. Evie's going to be sharing too.
Yes. Of course. I'm going to be filling in the gaps. And maybe, you know what? Maybe when you invite me to your show, which your show is in Smart Hustle Nation, right?
Survive and Thrive Summit, Smart Hustle Nation, all kind of things we do. But yeah, Smart Hustle.
Okay, so maybe when you invite me to your show, then I'll use that video to talk about my upcoming talk, which is a brand new talk, which has been coming together because I've been working with speakers and I know where the gaps are. And so I'm filling in the gap. And so when you talked about what you said, I loved it, because I said, oh my goodness, this is going to bring things together where things are going to make sense for people. Because like you, I like to keep things simple. And this summit is about providing strategy, tactics, and tools that will empower speakers, authors, coaches, consultants, course creators to put it all together in a simple and easy way that will help them to move their business or reposition their business, their knowledge, their intellectual property into something that they can create multiple streams of income online.
That is powerful. I'm excited to be there. Maybe I should just sign up and be an attendee.
Well, you're going to be there. You're part of the VIP, and I hope you stay for the whole day, because we have some people that are going to be part of our VIP lounge, and our VIP lounge includes being able to, well, we won't literally be able to rub elbows with Raymond Ray, but you will be able to do that virtually. So, I mean, if people wanted to hire you one-on-one on a consultant, how much do you charge for that?
It's quite a bit.
It's quite a bit, right? During the summit, they're going to get to hear you, and they're going to be able, by buying the VIP Plus, they're going to be able to be part of that VIP lounge where they're going to be able to rub elbows with Raymond Ray.
Love it. All brought to you by Evie.
By Bizniversity Speakers Growth Summit. Yeah. So any last words of encouragement, wisdom, and energy that you want to share with anyone who's here now or during the replay?
Yeah, I think I would just say, Evie, that listen, we all face fear. All of us have been impacted in some way, shape, or form, in some way. And so that's gets too. But the key is now, if you're listening to my voice, obviously you're alive and you're doing okay because you have the time to prioritize this moment. How do you move forward? And I would ask you not to let fear keep you held back, keep you crippled. Do something. There's going to be so many amazing speakers. And so my point is, you can't do everything we're going to, teach you. Pick one, pick two things. Say for the next 30 days, 45 days, I'm going to do that. And I feel like tearing up right now, Evie, because so many are hurting. I was talking to a young man today, and I know time is short, Evie, but the thing that was pulling him back was just himself. And that's what was said. I can't help him because I'm not like a mindset person. It's just not my strength. But I was like, dude, StreamYard, right? What we're using now, Evie, all the tools are there. We all have them. It's to a degree democratized. But You got to do it. So that now is getting too low. Let me go back up. Join us. Join us. We know you can do it. I'm Ramon Ray, and you have to join Bizniversity.com, the Speakers Growth Summit. Evie is producing it. It is going to be absolutely amazing. Join me and many other people. Bye. Probably below or somewhere on here. You can see the link and all those things, but I'll be there, and I hope you are too.
I love that. Thank you so much. Remember, everyone, you can get your ticket today by visiting Bizniversity.com or SGS2020.com, which will get you directly to our page. And we do have an amazing VIP Plus pass, which will allow you, like I said, to join our VIP lounge, where you'll have an opportunity to be in a special Zoom room with experts like Raymond Ray. So if that is you, please make sure to join us. We're looking forward to helping everyone. And we do want to make this, the year's not over. We can still have a great 2020. And it can simply begin right after our Speakers Growth Summit. So please make sure to visit Bizniversity.com today. For now, I'm Evie Hernandez, strategic speaker at Bizniversity, here with Raymond Ray, our expert speaker, coming up on October 29th for the Bizniversity Speakers Growth Summit. Thank you so much for watching. We're looking forward to having you join us. Thank you. Thank you, Raymond.
Pleasure.